Okay, it is a kitchen day. I have a few pounds of zucchini and a few pounds of beans and some shishito peppers that need to be processed. So today I am making some lemon zucchini bread. I am going to be blanching and freezing the green beans. And then with the shishito peppers, I'm going to sear them and pack them in oil. And then with the rest of the zucchini, I am going to shred and freeze that for future zucchini bread. So this is an instance where having good tools would come in handy, because I have this cheese grater and that's what I am going to be processing like all 10 pounds of this zucchini with. It would be a lot easier if I had a food processor with a grating attachment, but we're just gonna work with what we got. Excuse me. I've been feeling really unmotivated to be making content and garden. It can get really easy to get overwhelmed when you choose to live a life that is kind of counter-cultural. So making your own food, growing your own food. And this is where intentionally resting and finding inspiration has been really, really important to me. I've been spending a lot of time resting my body, and while I was resting, I found this recipe. Kind of my kryptonite in making my own food and trying to stick to a budget is pastries. I have a sweet tooth like no other. So I've been trying to find some semi-healthy sweet treats, and this zucchini bread I think is gonna do that. Alright, so while that's in the oven, I am going to get started on so much zucchini. We're gonna get started on searing these peppers. I gotta fish them out of this bucket first. So all I'm doing with these is just taking off the stems and splitting them in half like this, and then I'm going to throw them in with some oil and just let them sear, and then when they're done we'll put them in some oil. Oh yeah, those look real nice. Finding motivation is something that I struggle with a lot. And sometimes even the urgency of a harvest going to waste is not enough to get me going. And so I've got to find the stuff that makes me happy. And right now, that's sweets. And so since I was already going to be in the kitchen making my sweet treat, zucchini bread, now I can use that momentum and get in the kitchen and preserve some of this harvest. All right, next up, beans in hot water, then boil, then beans into cold water. This is called blanching. Better tools would make this easier. We're just gonna scoop them, stop the cooking process. I suppose this isn't so bad. It works. So we've blanched the beans. I've got them laid out on a cookie sheet. I'm just gonna throw them in the freezer so that they can freeze like this, and then I'll throw them in a freezer bag. I am running out of steam, and so I am turning to another source of motivation, and like I said, that is sweet treats. I am going to have this zucchini bread that I just made and a cup of tea and hopefully get back to it when I'm done with it. This might be the end of my kitchen day today. So if it is, thanks for hanging out. It is much later, but I'm gonna finish. Okay, so things that we have to finish. I need to finish shredding zucchini and lay it out flat in the freezer. And I need to take the beans off of the cookie sheet in the freezer and put them in a bag. And I also need to core and score some tomatoes and put them in the freezer. Oh, which is way less stuff than what I had to get done at the beginning of the day. But let's see if I can push through and also get the dishes in the sink cleaned. Probably not that one though. Should you probably drain off the excess water from zucchini? Yeah. I would rather have zucchini frozen and skip a step than stress out about that little step and then end up having this stuff go bad. Don't do that. It's my professional advice. Try to get the beans in the bag. These are so cold. Okie doke, we did it. So these are gonna go in the freezer on this cookie sheet just so they freeze flat so that it's easier to store. Shredded zucchini after it's been frozen has kind of iffy texture. It's great for using in zucchini bread for that reason. You can also mix it into like veggie burgers, and that's the majority of what I plan to use this for. All right, at the bottom of this basket are some cucumbers and tomatoes that need to be dealt with. I think I'm gonna make some fridge pickles with the cucumbers, and I'm just gonna take out the core from the tomatoes and make a little X at the bottom, and I'll freeze these so that way I can save up tomatoes to make tomato sauce later. Freezing your tomatoes like this is an alternative to boiling them to skin them. Once they're frozen and you thaw them out, the skin will just kind of peel off. It makes it a lot easier to make sauces with. If you don't have a ton of harvest all at once and you don't have enough to make like an entire batch of sauce, you can save up over a couple weeks until you have enough tomatoes to do something with, which is nice because I'm still at the early end of harvesting tomatoes in my garden, even though it's already mid-August, which here in Eastern Washington, mid-August is like late summer. We've already started dropping back into the 40s at night, and the frost is imminent. My garden's days are numbered. Okey-doke. Well, I'll freeze all of this and I'll just add more in as I collect them. And once this is full, then I'll do a round of sauce. I have a really hard time feeling accomplished when I've finished things. And I'm actually really proud of myself for how much I got done today, especially with how tired I got in the middle there. Still tired. I got some peppers, tomatoes, beans, and zucchini stored away that I can use later, and I made some really tasty zucchini bread. Gonna make pickles tomorrow, and now my harvest basket is empty and I can go out to the garden and pick some more. Now I just gotta do dishes. Well, thanks for watching. Stay curious. Oh no. Dang it. Well, it was going in there anyway.